across. I've known about Van Halen since I was a little kid. I had a few friends who loved Van Halen, but it was a song I've never heard, and it's pretty damn weird. It's about 2025, as you can see on the screen. Now, I'm not going to play the full song in case I get pinged for doing that. I don't need the strike against me, that kind of thing. So I can give you little bits of it, but I'll probably just read it out. And I'm going to cover some other stuff that he talks about. I never knew Sammy Hagar was so wacky. And I'm not saying wacky as in like he's full of crap, but some of his stories are, more than interesting. And as someone in the limelight coming out, talking about it to people, it's it's a bit more convincing than just being written in a book or whatever, which it also was. So today, Alive is about Van Halen, Sammy Hagar, and his warning for 2025. Now, it's in a pretty short song. It wasn't a real long one. And like a lot of Van Halen songs, it's mainly guitar riffs and, jamming out and solos and stuff. They did a lot of that and not a lot of words. So I would do a bit of a decode maybe at the end of this and go through what, my version of what he might be talking about would be. But there's a few clues in there. And, just generally really interesting and a really interesting guy. Like, I never really did much background on Sam Hagar, but very interesting. His whole life was very interesting. He ran a fair few bands as well. So what we're dealing with today is I've lost my bloody page that had all these dates written on it, but I think Van Halen, if I remember, was like, see if I can find it now. God. No, I can't find it, which is just annoying. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. So we're basically covering what he said. All right, here we go. So he had started in 1973 to 1975. He did Montrose, so he had a small band, and that's where this song comes from. And then he did a solo career from like 76 all the way through to 2014, through different years. So 76, 87, 97, 2008, 2013 to 14. And of course, he had Van Halen, which was 1985 to 1996. Now, Van Halen's the obvious band that everyone knew. That's, the popular one, if you could. And Montrose was early beginnings. So this is his early stuff. And from what I understand, this song was written in 1975, so 50 years ago. So again, I'll give you a short clip of it, and then I'm just going to delve into some of his background and some of the weird interviews that he's done. So bear with me, and I might just get off screen because I'll clog up some of the graphics or whatever. So... Come 2025. Things will start separating. Come 2025. Who stays and who goes? In 2025, this is some weird shit. Crack in the World, sung by Sammy Hagar, better known as the lead singer of Van Halen. I found out what it is that's been driving me mad. There's no room to breathe between the good and the bad, a crush in between. There's a thin, thin line, but just round the corner, there's a change in design. I wish I could walk away and dig what the preachers say, but those words don't satisfy me no more. There's a crack in the world, there's a crack in the world, there's a crack in the world. Just 50 more years, we're all going to know why, when, where, how, and who gets to go. So let's all have a good time before the great divide, because things will start separating come 2025. So look for the subtle clues. It won't make the front page news. That depends upon which side that you choose. There's a crack in the world, there's a crack in the world, yeah, there's a crack in the world. So now, just as this song seems weird being, it was sung 50 years ago and is focused on this year, 2025. Now look at this, Van Halen's Sammy Hagar.
says his mind was infiltrated by aliens. So Sammy claims two intelligent creatures tapped into his unconscious using some kind of mysterious wireless connection. There's no better way to put this. Sammy Hagar believes his mind was taken over by aliens. Years ago, before he played with Van Halen or Montrose, before he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the American singer claims extraterrestrials tapped into his consciousness in the California foothills. I know there's something out there, he explained, and someday they'll come. Hagar's intergalactic theories have come to light with his new memoirs, read My Uncensored Life in Rock, written with Joel Selvin. I was lying in bed one night, dreaming, he recalls in the book. I saw a ship and two creatures inside of this ship. I couldn't see their faces. I just knew that there were two intelligent creatures sitting up in a craft in the Little Creek forest area about 12 miles away in the foothills above Fontana. And they were connected to me, tapped into my mind through some kind of mysterious wireless connection. In a new interview with MTV Hive, Hagar said he wanted to write a lot more about UFOs, but Selvin talked him out of it. He'd be like, oh, people don't want to hear that shit. But Hagar could write a whole book just devoted to aliens, he said. No, I love it, man. I'm into it deep. Although Hagar's vision of an alien spaceship was part of a dream, he insists he was seeing something real. It friggin' happened, the 63-year-old explained. Aliens were plugged into me, either a download or an upload. They were tapped into my brain and the knowledge was transferred back and forth. I could see them and everything while it was happening, like an experiment. Let's see what this guy knows. Nor was this his first close encounter. When he was 4 years old, he claims, he saw something he didn't include in his book. I saw what I considered to be, well, at the time I thought it was a car with no wheels, he said. We lived out in the country and I saw this thing floating across a field, creating this big dust storm. I threw rocks at it and shit, and I don't know what happened after that. Asked if he thinks he blacked out, Hagar replied, I guess. I just have no memory of it. And that wasn't a dream. It was during daylight.
You know, there's something going on, Howard. I don't know what it is, but, you know, I've been touched in weird ways sometimes in dreams and while I'm awake, and you're thinking it's a dream, and things happen. My father visited me. My manager, when he died, visited me the night they died.
Yeah, but wait a second. It's deeper than that, Sammy. What you're saying is, if I have it right, your father, hard-drinking man, tough guy.
Died under a park bench, basically. I mean, in the back of a car, a police car, but they pull him out from a park bench, you know what I mean?
And the night he dies, there's a knock on your door. You hear a distinct knock. You were sleeping or you were awake?
I got up and answered the door.
Right.
And in my house, right where I was, the person that was with me, my baby was in, I had a little 2-year-old, Aaron was a little 2-year-old boy, and I answered the door, and it was my dad. He was like in his 20s, and he was drunk and going crazy, and he was saying, "Great day for the Irish," and all this stuff, and I said, "Don't ever come like this in front of my baby." Woke him up, and it all happened. It was like a dream. Slammed the door, went and laid back down. God's truth. I mean, you can't make this shit up.
No.
And somebody knocked on the door, and I go, fucker, he's back. I went and opened the door, and it was my next-door neighbor who had a telephone that was an emergency number for my sister and my family, because I was living, you know, I was with my band. We were all sleeping in the same house and all that, same room. Anyway, and he goes, "Hey, your sister's on the phone." Look, Howard, my fur is up.
You got goosebumps.
Yeah, I do, all over my body, man. And so I just went, wow, my sister, I knew. I mean, they found Dad. They're 4 o'clock in the morning, you know.
It's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. And that's happened.
Do you ever
twice.
think, since it's happened, do you think maybe you were asleep, or you were awake when your father visited you?
I don't know. That's too out there, man.
What was the second time it happened?
Well, my manager, Ed Leffler, who, when I joined Van Halen, when I got thrown out of it, you know, when we were having our hard times, Ed Leffler had died. After that, the band broke up. And Ed Leffler was my manager forever, and then he took over Van Halen. And I was sitting there. We were going through hell with the band, and they had hired this manager guy who they ended up suing and all this stuff. We won't mention names, but long story short, I talked about it in my book. And Ed, I was sitting there, I was laying in bed, and I just didn't know what to do. I didn't want to quit the band, but I knew it was over. You know, we were really at odds. And Ed comes to me, kneels down next to me on my bed. I'm going, fuck, I'm smelling him. He's a cigarette smoker, you know. He had a certain smell about him, you know. And I'm going, damn, Ed, what am I doing? He said, don't worry about it. It's going to be okay, man. He says, you know, I mean, he just came and flat said that and just straightened me right out. I said, fuck it. The next thing I know, I was thrown out of the band, and life was good for me. You know what I mean? Like, so
do you believe in the afterlife?
Yeah. I believe in dimensions. Yeah, I think there's a lot going on right in this room.
Why is everything happening to you and not me? I don't understand. I lay in bed, nothing happened. Nobody visits.
You
nothing.
can have this shit.
Does it scare you when it happens?
He'd like you to have it. It's scary.
It's scary.
It's scary.
Were you visited by aliens as well?
Yeah, and I had a UFO experience, and that was in 67, 68.
And you weren't high or anything?
No, I didn't do drugs. I didn't even drink back then.
And who visited?
They just randomly picked me, and I woke up while they were doing it. I'm going, what the fuck's going on? My room was white. I mean, I was like, I couldn't see anything. It was a complete whiteout. I laid there, couldn't move. All of a sudden, they said in another language, just telepathy, this is done. You know, he's waking up or whatever. And they yelled a numerical code that was obviously, you know, like your passcode to get into your shit, you know?
Yeah.
And boom, it was almost like a wire in the air. And I woke up and it was black, and I was shaking and I couldn't move.
And when when you tell that story, guys like Jason look at you like you're crazy. He's back there making hand signals like cuckoo.
He's jealous.
He's jealous. Aren't you jealous?
I've never heard that story.
Played probably since 1987 or something like that because it's so fucking hard to play. And Joe goes, no, I don't.
Yeah, so pretty freaky guy. A lot of that stuff, you know, I had no idea. And yeah, I don't know, like it's I just can't believe I, you know, never really knew much about Van Halen, but I wasn't the biggest fan myself, so it would be a bit like that, though, you know. Kind of not my taste or whatever. So I think I'll just finish up. I don't have a great deal more to say. I think you get the idea, and you should go and research yourself if you're interested in this kind of thing. And I've got crazy cats running around me, so any moment they're going to jump on my keyboard and wreck everything. But anyway, I think I'll just end out with a short clip of the song. If I keep it under a minute, I think I'm all good. And this is the main part of the lyrics. So yeah, have a listen, and you know, tell me what you think in the comments. Tell me what you think he's actually talking about. I have my own ideas. That doesn't mean I'm right. Doesn't mean I'm wrong. But I don't think I'll go into them too much today. And I think, you know, 2025 is still playing out. I've done a few prophecy videos, and I've done two on a Thai woman and a Japanese woman, male plough, the Thai woman, who both predicted that before the end of July, today is the 31st in Australia, before the end of July there was going to be a big tsunami. So that's the live I was doing yesterday, and it was actually a live I was going to do today, and then I stumbled across this, and I thought I just had to put it out there. It's just, you know, it's kind of wacky. It sort of freaks me out a little bit. But something else to look forward to before the end of 2025 is, what is this great divide? You know, that kind of thing. So you hear in the lyrics what he's talking about is, you know, there's something going on, and he reckons he was connected to aliens and all sorts of stuff, and they downloaded all this information into him. So more than interesting, totally crazy almost, most people would probably say. But, you know, I'll give anyone the benefit of the doubt that an interesting guy like this and all the lyrics that some of these guys come up with, I'm always amazed. And I might not like all their music, but lyrically, a lot of these people are just amazing. You know, and it seemed to be a time back then they were probably more connected and less distracted or something, because, I don't know, I don't turn on the radio anymore. It's there's not much on it I want to hear unless they would do an old school 90s stuff or whatever, but, you know, that's just because I'm an old fart. So anyway, I'm just going to play this one out, and I think I'll wrap the live up. So this is a short clip of the lyrics. From Sammy Hagar, obviously a stage name that he uses. His name's not Sammy Hagar, but anyway, the guy from Van Halen, this is when he was in Montrose in 1975. This thing was written. I think this particular clip was from 1977, but all the same, he's talking about 50 years into the future, this year, 2025. So have a quick listen, and then I just think I'll wrap her up. So enjoy your day, guys, and take care.